I am the alpha. This is myakka hachipoko, and I am his alpha. I am the alpha. This is Joe, and I am Joe's alpha. Okay, I'm going to go put Joe up, and then I'm going to get messy. I am the alpha. This is Missy, and I am her alpha. Okay, you've seen 3 different horses being led the same way. When I was walking, my body language was soft. I had my space, they had their space. The first one was Poco, 2-year-old colt. He knows to keep his distance. Alright, he struggled a little bit when I was doing the one game. That's okay. It's not going to go perfect every time. But what has to be noted here is that regardless of what his feelings were or what he was thinking about at the time, I am the alpha. I am in charge. You notice I had the ropes down low on his legs. That was done purposely. I wanted him to get the feel of what it would be like if he got vines around him or tree branches or whatever. But I didn't want him to panic. And the reason that he shouldn't panic is because I am the alpha. I'm the one in charge for his safety, for his well-being. When we got Joe, the second horse, out here, I did the lateral flexion on him, asking him to bend to bring his neck into me. Very important. I am the alpha again, telling him I need you to bend your neck. Did it really very well? No problem. Did a great job. On Missy here, I backed her up with one finger. Very soft, hardly any pressure. I am the alpha. This little finger is the alpha. Whatever I do with any horse, and it doesn't matter which horse I handle, doesn't matter what type of personality that they have, I am the alpha. I'm in charge of their well-being. I'm in charge of their safety. And as soon as they learn that, then I can continue my training. This is a nice little mare here. We've done a lot of work. You've seen her in a couple of the other videos. We've got a lot more to go, but we're going to make it through. So anytime, it doesn't matter, any horse, anytime, anywhere, any place, you are in charge. When you have this rope in your hand, you are in charge. Never forget that, and you'll be a lot safer for it. Next video, I'd like you to check with Wendy's story part 2. Thank you very much. Okay, that's good. Okay, now when I bring Wendy out, I am the alpha. This is Wendy, and I am her alpha. being the alpha is a big responsibility, whether you're the horse or whether you're the human. You have to take on that responsibility if you want to be safe and if you want your friends to be safe. Miss Wendy here, when I first met her, she was over in little stables over there in Palmetto. And there was 4 other horses that were with her. And I dubbed them the Wild Bunch because they had gone feral. A couple of them had been ridden and used for ranch work. But for about 7 or 8 years, they kind of like just were left out on about 1,000 acres and nothing was done with them. So they went to feral. So I was introduced to them and was asked if I could do anything for them. And it was going to be a whole way of life, a whole different change in their lifestyle. So I said, well, I will do what I can. Now I've been working on this mare for about 2.5 years. There is some abuse that has gone on, as you know, in a couple of the other videos that we did on Wendy's confidence booster. And don't know the extent of the abuse. I know of some instances, but I don't know how much deeper it went. When I went to go pull these horses out of that pasture, I had to separate them and put them in individual stalls. This is how I found out that she was the alpha. Because whenever I went to go get one of the horses out of the stalls, she would be there and she would say, "I'm watching you." Because her eyes would get real big, her ears would lay back, and she'd turn that head and twist it like this in an ominous way. That's when I knew she was the alpha. She was in charge of that herd. That was her responsibility. But I do not believe it was a responsibility that she wanted. Now, it took me 10 weeks. I could not touch this horse. I had a way of bringing her into the stall, but I could not touch this horse. It took me 10 weeks to just take my hand and stroke her neck like this. That's how strong she was. She was a very strong-willed, very intelligent alpha. And I had to just convince her that I will be the alpha and I will take care of you. And you can take that weight of the world off of your shoulders. Now, 10 weeks is a long time to be able to just even touch this horse like this with the neck, on her neck. That's a long time to be able to have her trust you enough to do that. Was it worth it? You're darn right it was worth it. Every minute of it. Now my goal for this young horse is to be up on her back in probably about 8 more months by the end of this year. This is April of 2008. She knows a lot of ground games. She's trusting a lot more. There's a lot of things that I have to teach her. A lot of things that I have to get her to trust me to do. I love this horse, and she knows it. And she's going to do the best for me, just like I'm going to do the best for her. So I'm hoping that in the next 8 months, that relationship gets stronger and deeper, so that one day I can get up on her back. Check out Wendy's Confidence Booster, the second part, and you'll know a little bit more of the abuse story on her, as far as I know. She's a great mare, and I see a lot of potential for her to be in a really good saddle horse. Now, not just anybody's going to be able to ride her, but she will be ridden, and she will be worked, and she will be happy about doing it. So thank you very much for watching this, and I hope you appreciate the beauty of this animal, because she is a beautiful horse. And I hope that you'll tune in and watch the other videos in the near future. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, sweetheart, you did great. You did great. Yes, you did. You did great. You did great.
Where are you at? It's gotta be right there, right?
Oh. thank you.
Come on. Come on. Go. Come on. Katie. No. Katie. 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 Katie, come here. You nutty dog. Katie. 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 Get here. Sit. Sit. You wait. Wait. Wait.
see, like something like that with that pipe sticking out, we gotta get that pipe out of there.
Oh.
The rope got hung up on there, and all I did was I dropped the rope, stopped, no muss, no fuss, no panic, and then we can continue on. So he knows how to hide his hiney pretty good, and he is very responsive. He wants to try to do things for you. You know, watch how I bring him in. You know, he likes being worked. He likes being exercised in his brain, and but he really does have an issue. Now I've done his front feet. I did his front feet yesterday. Come on up, son. See if you can get a look at his feet there. But he, you know, I mean, he does pretty good. He does have a problem a little bit, but see, I did his front feet yesterday, so they look pretty nice. So he has a little bit of an issue on the front, but that's where I can't help him out on the front. But the back feet, he really has an issue. And he has an issue with me being on this side. You can take a picture of his foot again. Yeah, see? Get that front foot. Get that front foot going. So, I mean, he wants to please. He wants to try to trust, but, you know, he just has a little difficulty with it. So, we just got to work through it. You know? We got to work through it. He has a little bit of an issue with his ears. Not too bad, though. Not as bad as what they used to be. That's pretty good. See, I just start out slow at the base, and then I work my way up. And there we go. See? So this, you know, he's coming along. They've seen some pretty good improvement. He's actually come up to a couple of people. So that kind of makes it nice. Let me see if I can get this other ear. Very nice. Very good. I like this guy a lot. He's got personality that he hasn't even shown me yet. I know he does. This guy's going to be Mr. Personality. gets a little nervous and clenches his butt. Whoop. There it goes. You know, but he's just got to get used to that, that's all. Crap. I got an article in the book there too. There's a magazine I have in there that describes what a henny is, and that's what he is. He is a cross between a jack and a female horse, but he's a male. See now, if he was a female, he'd be He knows better than that to go out like that. Confused. That's all right.
Freaking lizard.
I just got to put his front feet up on it. I'm going to put his back feet up on it. Turn him around. Now I'm going to just keep his back feet on it. There we go. This guy's smart. Okay?
You get
He's getting upset. He says, wait a minute. Good job, Mr. Is. It's a little bit bigger to make that turn. He did it. See that what that is there? I gotta work with him on the tarp.
Let me get mine on.
Can you hear me?
I had to take a second.
No? Okay. Okay. You ready? Okay.
Tell me what
I'm going to do is just kind of show them the contrast between Poco and Wendy, and what it's like to kind of work with a horse that's not been abused compared to working with a horse that's abused. I'll be pretty much staying in this area. Okay. All right. This is a 2-year-old colt. He's mine. He's my baby. His name is myakka Poco. And what I wanted to do is to show you the contrast between a horse like Wendy that's had some abuse problems and how long it takes to get her or him situated to understand that we're not all about pain and hurt and everything else. Now, if you can see him over there, he's playing around with my bareback pad and just having a good old time with it and playing with it. And that's what I want him to do, because I want him to be comfortable with it. If a horse puts their nose on something like that and they play with it, then they're less likely to be afraid of it. So I've been putting the bareback pad on him for a little bit, and the main thing that I really want to kind of emphasize today with him, and I'm going to show you some of the games that I play with him too, is how I go about cinching. So Angie, out there in Illinois, if you watch this video, this is dedicated to you, so to speak, so that I think you still have your colt, and if you don't, well, at least the next one that comes up, you'll have a pretty good idea of different things you can do with them. Now, I do want to caution you about one thing, and I don't want people to get upset, but I may have to discipline him from time to time. He's not been gelded. He's a colt. So he's got his equipment, and the main problem that I have with him is him nipping. Now, it's not that he wants to hurt or anything like that. That's just what he does, and I have to stay on top of it. So you'll probably hear me say no bite, because I want to pre-warn him. Now, if I have to get onto him, there's 2 things that I'm going to do to discipline him. And this is where I don't want anybody to get upset, because you can't just let him bite you and not do anything about it. But the discipline that I'm going to do is structural. So there's going to be 3 things. 1, if he nips me and I'm close enough by with my hand, I'm going to flick him, just like this, right on his mouth. And you'll see his head go up like that. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to be head shy. That just means I don't want you to bite me no more, because I can still get my hands on his face and I can still rub his nose. But him being a colt, 2 years old, might have some teeth going, you know, problems, gums, whatever. I rub those and massage those also, but I still have to let him know not to bite. If I'm in a position that I can't flick him, then I will pop him on the neck 1 time. Or I will take the end of my rope and pop him on the butt 1 time. Now, it may seem like it's harsh, but when you think about it, those are the 2 areas that the mare goes to discipline their baby. They will either bite their butt or they will bite their neck to let them know that what they've just done is not acceptable. So those type of disciplines are acceptable within the horse realm. Okay, so I want everybody to kind of understand that. Now, you can agree with it, you can disagree with it, but I'm not going to put a stud chain and rack his nose or just lay into him and get all kinds of upset. Because if I do, I might as well put him away and call it a day. All right? Okay. So again, here we go with my approach. I'm coming off to the side. So he knows that I'm here, even though right now he's kind of like having a good time with my bareback pad. So he's playing with it, and that's okay. I want him to. And then if he bonks himself in the head, then he'll know he needs to quit playing. Okay, buddy boy, are you done? Okay, so I'm going to make my approach, and look at it this way. If he's got something in his mouth, he's less apt to bite me, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that away from him. He's got it all good and slobbery and goobery too here. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to place it in here, put a little pressure on. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to put it right here where the bit would go and put pressure on until he releases it. Now he's going to back up, and that's okay. But I want him to release it. Okay? There we go. Alright, so that was simple enough. Now, if it would have got to the point, now, see, he just tried to bite me right there. Now it's too late for me to react because I didn't react quick enough. So I have to let that one pass. But now, as far as my saddle pad, pretty well chewed up. Now that's the end of that. So now, what I want him to do is get away from me. Get away. Go. Back. Get away. Okay. Now, what I just did there was to let him know that that's not acceptable. I don't want you on top of me. I don't want you trying to nip at me. I want you to be a gentleman. You have to stay in touch with these guys all the time. You can't let them get away with anything, not even once. So it's very important. Let them know what you're all about. Let them know that you will discipline them, that you will get on to them if they are not doing what's acceptable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just walk them around. See, I didn't ask them to come in, so I'm going to bring them back. Get away from me. Go on. Get away. Okay, that's where I want them. Looking and chewing. All right, now, that's kind of like a little more introvert. He did a little licking and chewing, kept his tongue inside. But a lot of times he's very animated and he will lick and chew and you can see his tongue coming out. Now I'm going to walk him around half circle here for a little bit and then I'm going to put the pad on and I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. Now if you remember, this is how I was walking Wendy. Bump, bump, bump. I knew he was going to go after that pad. I just told him no. So I bumped him. Okay, didn't jerk on him or anything. I bumped him. Big difference between bumping and jerking. Okay, so far he's doing pretty good. Kind of behaving himself. But that's subject to change. Okay, he stopped. I'm going to keep the pressure on him until he decides to walk on. He had that blue brass hook there in his mouth. Decided that was a little uncomfortable, so he took it off. Alright, took it out. So now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the pad on. Bump, bump. See that? He wanted to go to that pad again, and then I said no. So I bumped him. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make sure that my pad is nice and clean, that doesn't have anything in there that'll stick them. And he's going to inspect it for me, make sure that it's okay. Is it okay? Huh? Did I do a good job? Did I? Huh? Okay, buddy. Okay, now, place it on his back, like so. Now we'll go get my other pad. This is probably about the 4th or 5th time that I've had the pad on him. I've had the saddle on him once. But it doesn't matter whether it's a pad or a saddle. It's all about the cinching to get them used to the center. No bite? Okay, there was a pre-warning right there. He brought his head around. He wanted to take a little nip. And you see how I wear baggy pants? More than likely, he's going to grab a hold of my pants before he grabs any of my skin. If you wear tight jeans, guess what? He's going to get a hold of your skin. Alright, he's playing with the rope, so he's preoccupied. Notice how I'm walking behind him? Okay? Just like any of the other horses that I work with, he's not any different. Other than the fact that he's a baby. Okay, I'm going to push his head away a little bit, just like that. So he doesn't get tempted to take advantage of a situation. With young horses, no. Now he's trying to bite at the cinch. or at the girth rather. Now, let me bring him around this way so you can see it a little bit better. Come on up here. Walk on. Now that's a baby thing. Always having something in his mouth that's actually like a pacifier. Alright, walk on. Walk on. Okay, stand easy. Whoops. Oh, he's stepping on the girth, on the strap. So I'll back him up a little bit. Back. 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 There we go. Okay. Now I can go back to putting the cinching. Do the cinching. Alright, so my first cinch, and I have to readjust this up here. My first cinch is just going to be snug. You getting a good shot on that, Roy? Do I need to come over? Roy? Okay. Alright, so the first cinch is going to be snug. It's not going to be real tight. I'm not going to try to do it all at one time. Okay, got it set up pretty good. Here's the snug, right here. That's snug. Now he wants to chew at it a little bit, but that's okay. Not a problem. He's just telling me I don't like that. But as you do it more and more consistent, it'll get better. Now he's checking the other side because he's feeling it over on that side too. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to reward him because first of all, it's been about 2 minutes since he's trying to bite me last. So that's a reward in itself. And then he stood pretty good for the cinching. He was just showing me he didn't like it, and I was just showing him you have to put up with it. Okay, now I'm going to walk him around a little bit. That's to let the air out. I don't care what horse you do. For some reason, they always suck air in. I don't know why. I couldn't explain it to you. Maybe somebody knows out there. I don't know. But I've yet to meet a horse that has never done that. That's why I do my 3-cinch rule. So he's wanting to play with the shank again. So come on back. Bring him back here. There we go. Remember, he's a baby. He's 2 years old. So he's going to have a lot of baby-like symptoms. He's going to actually, physically, he's a 2-year-old, but mentally, I would say he's probably a 1.5 years old. Now, just because he's a 2-year-old, okay, they're ready to ride. I've seen people where they get up on their 18-month-old horse. I do not agree with that. Hey, but it's your horse. Now, see? A little reprimand right there. It's your horse. But I look at it this way. Why be in a hurry? Enjoy your horse. 18 months, 2 years even is kind of early because the main thing is you want to make sure that these knees are closed in. Okay, there's a synovial sac in there, and that has to be built up, and that has to be closed in. The knee does. Okay. Now he just bumped me, so I just touched him right there like that. It's not their back that's the problem. It's their knees. Preferably myself, I'd rather wait till they're 2.5. Arabs, you got to wait till they're 3. What's another 6 months if you're going to have this horse for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe the rest of its life? What's 6 more months? Not that big a deal. Be patient. Take your time. You'll have your horse sound, ready to go, and you'll have many hours in the saddle. 6 months is not going to hurt. I will probably, he's actually 25 months old now, and it'll probably be about another 2 months, maybe 3 before I get up on him. And that's what I want. I want him to be in the best physical and mental condition that he possibly can be. I've had mares. My first baby I had, she was a 2-year-old, but mentally she was actually a 3 or a 4-year-old. She was very, very intelligent, very willing, very loving, and very caring. This guy here, he's a boy. If that means anything, which I think it does, he's not going to mature as quickly. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my time with him. Alright, so I moved him around a little bit. Now I'm going to do my 3rd cinching. And there we go. Again. Okay. Now, I want him to kind of get used to the movement of the pad. So I'm going to let him roam around in here freely. What he's doing right now, when you get up on his back, he's going to do the same thing. Only he's going to be looking at your boots. And he's going to go, what are those doing up here? But they always look to the side. That's just something that they do, but I always give them that freedom of movement to do that. He's going to do it again. He's checking it out. It's not hurting him. He's just trying to figure out why has he got that going. Now, because I want to kind of save my leather a little bit, I'm going to move him out a little bit. I was kind of hoping he'd walk on by himself. But go. Alright, so I'm going to move him around just a little bit. And I'm going to show you a couple of the games that I play. There you go. Okay, get on the rail. Thank you. Whoop, there you go. Alright, good job. Okay, now once I got him in the position that I want, then I quiet my stick. Now I made a whooshing sound and I slapped the ground. I didn't crack it like a whip. Don't want to scare him. I just want him to understand the intensity of each step that I take to get him to move out. I want him to know that it'll get more intense. The sound will get louder, the slap will get harder. But the slap is on the ground, it's not on him. I'm staying beside or behind his shoulder. Okay, now he's wanting to smell that food. Now I'm going to give him a few seconds to do that. Okay, now I'm going to move him on. Walk on. And see how that was? One slap on the ground. Very nice. Now he's wanting to follow into this trail because we added a couple more panels here, so it's a little bit wider. And that's okay. I'm not going to critique every little move that he makes. As long as he's going in the direction that I'm asking, that's the important thing. Plus he's doing it because he wants to do it. Right, now I'm going to reverse him. I'm going to change his direction. So I switch the carrot stick in my other hand, point and look in the direction I'm asking. Once he turns, now I just quiet my stick and get him moving. There he goes again. He wants to get into that trail. And like I said, I don't have a problem. He's doing what I'm asking. He's going in the direction. When I lunge, I take my time with it. A lot of people do what I would call mindless lunging. And they just get their horse running around in a circle 10, 15 times. They got the stick going at their butt, which, hey, it can be done. Now he's smelling another pile of poop. But I would rather work the shoulder. Your forward impulsion is at the shoulder, not at the butt. The butt is what you want to do to hide the hiney to when you're on the ground, hide the hiney like this, and to disengage that back end. When you're up in the saddle, okay, I find it a lot easier, walk on, I find it a lot easier to take my reins, or if I have a little string or a rope with me or something like that, to tap them a couple of times on the shoulder to get that forward motion. Now notice that where I've got my stick here, I have it pointed at his shoulder. Now I'm going to ask him to turn again. But look at how much time I'm giving him to think about turning. Okay? Now he doesn't want to turn, but I'm going to be persistent with it. And once he turns, then I take the pressure off of him. Now I don't have him up to a trot or a canter yet in the round pen. I want to make sure that he understands what I'm asking with going in the direction that I want, staying away from me. At the beginning he kept wanting to come towards me. So you want to get him to stay away from you, go to the rail, go in the direction that you're asking, and then turn in the opposite direction. I want to give them time to think. See how I distance myself from him and I switch my hand. Okay? There we go. Now I want him on the rail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump him away from me and get him on that rail. He's still not going in the right direction, and here we go. Very good. Notice that I had my rope, even though it was on the other side of him, going towards his shoulder, not his butt. Okay? Now what he doesn't know offline is how to hide his hiney. I'm going to get him to move again. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to drop the stick, and he stopped. That's good. Alright, now he probably decided to stop when I dropped the stick, but I really want him to stop when I hide his hiney, which is I'm going to look at his butt like this. Uh-huh. Okay, Pucko. Okay. Alright, so I was getting to the point of hiding his hiney before I kind of stopped the filming here for a little bit. And so this is the position that I've got him in now. So what I'm going to ask him to do is to follow me into the center. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch his neck. And then I'm going to start walking towards the center. Now, he's interested in that poop down there. Well, here he comes. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Okay. Oh, he found something else more interesting than me. So I'm going to come up, approach him again. I'm going to touch his neck. Okay, and see if he'll come back in. Come on. Very nice. Uh-huh. Very nice. That's exactly what I wanted him to do. So it took a couple of times to touch his neck. But notice I didn't pressure him. All I did was suggest to him that, hey, you know, I'd like you to come into the center. Now he's chewing on my shoe. This I will accept because of the fact that he's in training. What this is going to do is when I do get up on his back and he turns around, he looks at this, all right? He's going to see my shoe. He's going to see my boot. Now see, he just tried to nip me. So I'm just going to give him a little flick right there. Baggy pants, remember? Baggy pants. All right? No bite. No bite. Okay, that's better. And this is why I love working with babies. You can mold them. He is not afraid of anything. Okay? He hasn't, now he's chewing on the other side. He hasn't had somebody beating on him and yelling at him and screaming. Not that I don't get mad at him sometimes. Of course I do. I'm only human. So sometimes I do yell at him, and maybe once in a while I might pop him a little bit harder than I should. But I'm only human. Things happen, you feel bad about it, and you apologize for it later. But for the most part, these horses are very forgiving. Okay? They understand that you're not out to hurt them. Alright? So he wants to play. So now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get my rope, and I'm going to show you some of the games that I play with him. Hi, buddy boy. Thank you. Now, isn't that nice? I taught him to pick that stick up, believe it or not. Alright, son, let me have it. Leave it. Leave it. See, I'm putting pressure on his mouth, and I'm giving him time to think about what I'm asking him to do. I'm not going to jerk it out of his mouth. Okay, so now I'm going to put the rope on my shoulder. I'm going to get him comfortable first. I got to trim his feet this week. Probably do it today. Walk up. Okay. Get comfortable. I want him to square up just a little bit, just to kind of get comfortable. Okay. I'm going to help him out here. I'm going to help him out. Just a little bit. There we go. Nope. Okay. Whoa. Okay. That's good enough. All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take the carrot stick. Okay. starting down on the ground. Okay, now I'm going to come up a little bit. I'm not going to let the rope on the stick leave the ground. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go up higher. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go higher. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and forth like this. All this is quick movement at different areas of your horse. You never know when you're going to be on the trail and you're going to have a leaf fall down or a pine cone fall down or a branch fall down or something comes out from the side or something crawls in front of them like this. All this is desensitizing him to different sounds, to different moves, over his head, under his body, around him, beside him, in front of him, behind him. And this is all desensitizing. Now I'm going to show you another game that I play with him. Okay. Okay, let me get back over here. I forget sometimes that I'm videotaping here, sorry. Okay, I'm going to start over again. See, he's not even bothered by this. So this is going to make it very good for him to become trail savvy when he doesn't have to be afraid of something coming out. It's not to say that he'll never spook. There's no such thing as a bomb-proof or a spook-proof horse. I'm sorry. I'm sure there are some good horses out there that may seem like that, but I'll tell you what, if it's something intense enough to make these animals be afraid, they will move on you. And what I want people to be aware of is what to do in those situations. I mean, you can go along and ride for a year and not have any spook problems at all, and then all of a sudden you're going to have one because you're going to be lackadaisical about it. You can't do that. I don't care how good a rider you are. I don't care how good of a horse you have. Anything at any time can happen. I want you to always be prepared, especially when you're working with a young horse. Now, he's doing really good for me today. This is probably about the best that I've had him work for me in probably the last week or so. But that's okay. I'm always happy for improvement. Okay? So now, I'm going to show you another couple little games that I do with him. I like to take the rope and put it around him like this. Now, if you're riding along and you get hung up in some vines or tree limbs or something like that, or he backs into something like that, I want him to know that when he feels something on his legs, not to panic. Okay, so this is a good exercise to do. And I'm going to go to all 4 feet. Now, the same thing, when I go and approach his back legs, what am I going to do? Okay, I am going to touch his neck, come down along his body, stay in contact with his body, and I'm going to do the same thing right here. I apologize for his anatomy here, but like I said, he is a 2-year-old stallion. So, and we're not in the show ring, and I'm not too concerned about this right now. He is behaving himself. So like I said, I apologize for his anatomy. Okay, same thing. Up. No bite. Okay. And I shake my finger at him too to let him know that's not acceptable. Bump, bump, bump. I don't want him to try to block me. Okay? He did that not because I was doing anything with his legs. He was just doing that because he's a colt. And then you just have to stay on him. Okay? I'm going to move him around again. Okay? I'm going to bump, bump him, bump, 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 bump. Now you see how more subtle I'm getting with my bumping on him? Okay? Because I've got him mostly left brain. Now he wants to play again. And that's okay. Let him play. I don't have a problem with that. If he's got something in his mouth besides my arm, that makes me happy. Alright, see that? No biggie. Same thing, I'll take the rope, go along his neck, under his belly, go around his butt. I'll do that even with the carrot stick. Okay? I'll take my carrot stick, bring it on over, around the side there, up around his ears. Do that. Okay? And that's what you want. You want your horse to be comfortable with different situations that you can put them in. All right? How many horses do you think would be able to tolerate something like that? Well, unless you work with them and you can play with them and you get them to be relaxed, not many. Okay? Now I got it wrapped around his ear. I even put this in his mouth, and when it fell, it came up on his ear here and everything else. Remember, your hands are your best tools, and whatever you have in your hand should represent your hand. That it's going to be soft, that it's not nothing that they have to be afraid of. Now I want to ask him for it back and see. Ah, that was very good. No bite. Ah, ah. Okay? No bite. No bite. Now I'm pre-warning him. Okay? So I'm going to do this on the other side too. Take it over. See how I bring it over on his back. Get it on his butt there. And over here. Okay? And I do it on both sides. I do it from both sides. Okay? He wants to play with the rope. That's okay. Not a problem. Okay? No bite. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap it around his ears. Get it up there, like so. Whoops. Wrap it around his ears, like so. Play with his ears. Look at this. So it's all in handling, right? He's not been abused. Nobody's ever hurt him. And he's very comfortable with what I'm asking him to do. Okay? So I know I'm being kind of facetious here and kind of playing around here a little bit, but I want to show you how much fun I have with my horses when I train them. And he's not the only colt. I've got probably about 7 or 8 young horses that I'm working on. But I have fun with every one. They show me something different, each and every one of them. Okay, what more do you want when you got a horse that's very comfortable and relaxed like that? All right? So that's pretty much about it. Now when I go ahead, one more thing I want to show you is that when I go ahead and uncinch him, okay, I'm going to ask him to come forward. Thank you. And I'm going to turn him around. Bump, bump, bump. Nice and easy. There we go. Good job. Okay, so now that I'm going to uncinch him, if this was a saddle, the way I would do it is that I would first of all, and if I've been riding him for quite a while, just loosen it a little bit. Okay, and just kind of wiggle it around here, kind of like a little massage right here. And then I'll take it off. Now, here's another thing. Can I do this? Oh, right, Coco. Look at that. Very nice. Let's see if I can do it on the other side. Okay, he's going to go after my pad again. Hey, can I have that? Leave it. There we go. Okay, this time I wasn't playing games with him. I wanted it right now. And he knows, so I just flicked him with my finger. Put it right there. Oh, there he goes. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Thank you. All right, can I flip this on his back? Push him away a little bit. There we go. One more time. Very good. Can I put this on his rump? There we go. So you see those games that I played with him to desensitize him, to get used to having things touch his body throughout. This just didn't happen overnight. This has just been with halfway decent, consistent work with him. I've not worked him as much as I would like to. Okay? But when I get ready to get up in that saddle, this is the kind of horse I want. I want him nice and quiet and ready to accept the saddle, the weight of the saddle, ready to accept the rider, and the weight of the rider. The next steps will be mounting games, and I'll show those to you later on. All right, thank you very much. He did great. He really did great. I was very happy with him. Nice job, buddy boy. Nice job. Oh, 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 wah, 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 wah. All right, come on. That was good. That other video. So if they compare the two, they'll be able to see quite a big difference. You did good, baby girl. You did good, sweetie. You did good. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of, go ahead.
When?
Probably might be more. Go ahead and just walk.
Gut sounds?
Yeah, I got down.
Yeah, but I mean gut sounds, stomach sounds or something?
Well, just scraping sound.
Scraping sound? When I walk?
Maybe try it on your sleeve.
Well, how about, well,
Over here. Oh, yeah, that's better.
that's better? Okay. All right, because it's probably up here and it was, okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do on this one here is kind of give a brief history of Wendy, and then I'm going to play some games with her and show them, you know, how you get things started with basically your hands and doing what I just did with her there. And I'm going to get the carrot stick, and I'm going to, you know, work her with the carrot stick and stuff like that, explain things as I do them. Hey, hey, hey. Hey! Now, you get out of here. Look at him, look at him, look, look. He's got you on. Get out of here. Come on, go mind your own business. Okay. All right. Ready?
Start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Come on, sweetie. Trying to think,
What you said?
yeah.
I can tell you.
This one it? Huh?
No.
Oh, shoot. I was hoping it would be. But at least I got to where I can move that carrot stick in front. And we've been at this for quite a while, so I think she's getting a little bit. It's 9:30. So we've been at it a good hour. All right, sweetie. You did good. I'm going to go put you out. Okay? I'll go put you out. You did good for me, sweetheart. You did good, baby girl. Okay. This one. Ready? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. This is second part of Wendy's confidence booster. And if you remember the last time that she did a lot of moving around and everything, so we've got quite a few improvements going. So I want to show you how much more she has improved from the last time. And it's nice improvement. Very happy with what she's doing. Very relaxed. Nice thing, I prepped her up this morning, cleaning her up and getting the cockleburrs out of her mane and everything else. She's one of the nicest, cleanest horses that you could ever find. Very clean on herself. So the first thing is that I'm just going to drop the rope. I'm going to make my approach. Now if you remember the last time, she moved around. Now you see her bring her head in, okay? The only reason why she's doing that, licking and chewing, very good, that's what we want right there, is so that she's still a little bit tentative about me coming around her. But she didn't really move a lot, and she's very, very animated. She wants to touch, she wants to see, and she wants to please. She really does. Alright, now I'm going to go around to the other side. And remember the last time I did this, how she swung her butt away from me. Now here she goes again. She backs up again a little bit. But that's alright. That's fine. So that's a vast, vast improvement over the last time. I'm going to take the rope off and let's see what she does without having the rope on her. Because I did it both ways in the last video. Okay? So let's see what she does now. Same thing. Now she knows she can leave. It's just like in the last video. She did leave and she went towards the gate. But I kind of pursued her on that by approaching her at the gate. But you see what she's doing. She's backing up again. That's alright. Freedom of movement, very important for her. And to be able to look and see just exactly what I'm doing. But when you're consistent in doing these things, you can only get better at it. She can only get better at it. She can build that confidence up and not feel threatened. Backing up, that's fine. I'm not going to stop her. I want her to do that because she's still tentative. There'll be a day that I'll just go ahead and move around her. She won't even think twice about it. So that's pretty much about what I've done to get her confidence built up. And you can't really work with a horse if you can't even walk from one side to the other. There's no sense in even trying to work with the horse until you can get that horse to trust you enough to do that. Of course, that's my opinion. I always felt that I should be able to go from that left ear all the way around to the right and then back again and have little upset, little like, oh, I'm really scared, what are you doing, I'm not sure, moving away from me and all that. So if you look at Wendy's Confidence 1 and you look at this, you're going to see a big difference. Alright, now what we're going to do in the next video is going to be Wendy's story. Okay, good. And that was good, because that's pretty much what I did. Okay. Okay. Alright, this is going to be Wendy's story. I've been working with this little mare for about 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in August. And she came with some damaged goods. That's damaged goods. Definitely abuse. There's a ridge on her nose going across like that could only really be caused, I feel, with a stud chain. I do have an eyewitness account of somebody trying to ride her and what she did. And it's pretty remarkable that this guy didn't get hurt that was trying to ride her. Because she came straight up, reared straight up, and one time she fell over backwards, and then another time she went straight up. She came down off to her side and tried to roll and just try to crush this guy. Well, no doubt this guy really felt more like a predator to her, and that's what they do. That's how they can. That's the only way they can get this predator off their back. If you've watched Flicka, the movie, and you see that mountain lion get up on that horse, what did that horse do? Instinctively reared up, came down, tried to roll to get that mountain lion off her back. That's a predator move. Well, we do the same thing. We become predators when we get up on their back, unless we can get that trust. Too important to not have that trust to get up on any horse. If you don't have a horse that trusts you, I wouldn't get up on it. There's no way. I'd have to get that horse to trust me. So what I'm going to show you today, if you've seen Wendy's Confidence Booster 1 and 2, that was a big step in me moving around her body. Now I'm going to show you some of the games that I've been playing with her and picking up her feet, cleaning them out, and I also trim her feet too. That took a long time in the making too. So I'm going to approach her, I'm going to walk her around a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean her feet out. And then I'm going to take my carrot stick and I'm going to start playing some games with her on the carrot stick. Now when I approach so that she can see me. Their horses are off to the side, so they have great peripheral vision. When I approach her, I always approach from the shoulder to the head and stay in between, so she doesn't have to make a whole lot of movement to see that I'm coming up on her. And they say, oh, you should never walk behind the horse. Well, that's true if you're going to come directly up behind them and surprise them. Then if you get kicked, then you pretty much deserve what you get, because you need to always be aware of where they're facing, what their attention span is if they're looking at something when you make the approach. Now, she didn't even move a muscle, and she saw me coming from way over there. So I'm going to walk her around a little bit. Now notice that when I walk, I keep her at a pretty good distance. I hold the rope in my right hand, and I have my pinky to the head in my left hand. The reason why I do this is so that if the horse should spook at something, and she has to move away, she won't be dancing on top of me. She'll move away. I can make my move depending on which direction she's moving, and I can also go ahead and switch hands with the rope. Notice I'm not pulling her, okay? We've been working hard on this for a couple of years, and what she is actually doing is she's actually treating me like another horse as the alpha, and she's letting me be the one in charge. She's safe, she's comfortable, and hopefully we'll get that confidence going again too. So there's no yanking, pulling, or jerking, or anything like that. I'm just walking very normal, very relaxed, and just having my friend with me right here. So when we go through the gate, it's the same thing. I'm going to show you how we work the gate. Now as I approach the gate, I decide which way the gate's going to open. So since it's going to open this way, I'm going to go ahead and stand between the gate.
Whenever you're ready, just rolling.
Alright. Okay, so when I approach the gate, I always look to see which way the gate's going to open up. And as the gate opens up, I'm going to position my body between the gate and my friend. Now I know I explained this to you in From the Barn to the Trail with Missy, but I think it bears repeating because it's too important. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't take into consideration of how you get hurt. Now, if the wind was to blow this gate and hit her, she would think, okay, the gate hit me and it hurt, so I want to prevent a problem. She won't reason the fact that the wind blew the gate into her. So this is why I try to avoid a problem before it happens. So I stand between the gate and my friend. The gate hits me, I know the wind blew it. We don't have any problems going through the gate. Good for going into the stall, pasture, round pen, doesn't matter. Even loading up into a trailer, whatever. Ho-ho, back. Now she was getting impatient here, but all I did was just go ho-ho and back and just let her know that it's not time to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and cue her. So I'm going to go ahead and point and look, and she's going to turn around with me, and she's going to come up with me and close the gate. Now notice I'm not putting any pressure on her. The shank is vertical to the ground. It's not horizontal. That means I wasn't even pulling her. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to open up the gate, Very good. She's not running through it. She's standing right where I want her to be, waiting for my cue. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cue her. Walk on. Very nice. I'm going to come around again. And voila. There we have. Now I can open up a date another time very safely. It takes a lot of work and practice and patience with this, but it can be done. Okay, cut.
Alright, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I approach her to clean her feet. And it's just been in the last few months. This is April of 2008. It's just been in the last few months that I've been able to do her feet all the way around. I've been able to do her front feet for quite a while, but the back feet were always kind of a tricky part. But now we got it down pretty good. Excuse me. So now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to show you how I get her prepared for me to clean her feet. Now I want her to kind of be as balanced as she possibly can. So she's making an adjustment. She knows what I'm going to be asking her to do. Okay? She's anticipating it, which is good. Now, I reach down and just kind of gently at the ankles. And then just scraping there. There we go. Licking and chewing. Very good. She's thinking about what I'm doing. Now I make my approach to the other leg. Now, when I do that, I still stay in contact with her body. Now she's shifting a little bit. Okay, that's okay. She's looking back to see what's going on. Now I'm going to ask her again. Pick up this foot. Pick up, sweetie. There we go. There we go. Good job. Okay, and then I place it down. Now I can walk back around her. See how she shifted her head so she could see where I was at. There we go. Saying, okay, I'm getting kind of tired of this. That's all right. She'll get over it. Okay, leg up, sweetie. Leg up. Leg up. It's okay. You can pick it up. Leg up, baby girl. Okay, give it a little bend there. Clean it out. Bada bing, bada boom. One more time. Same thing. Going to touch her on the neck here. Go to her back. Still have my hands on her. I'm giving her that freedom of movement to look. She's going to pick it up here. And place it down again. Beautiful. Okay? That's how you want to be able to clean your horse's feet. Give them that time to shift their body so that they can balance themselves. I think a lot of farriers get in trouble when they just go and they grab the foot and the horse is off balance and then they move or they shift or whatever and they kind of get upset with them. Give your horse time to set up for success. Give her time to think about what you're going to do. She knew that when I approached her and I had this hoof pick in my hand, I'm not hiding it. There's nothing to hide. It's not going to hurt her. You come down, keep your hands on, give her a little bump, bump, bump right here, and boom, 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 clean that foot right there, and that's all there is to it. I never hide anything, whether I'm spraying them, whether I'm worming them, whether I give them shots. I show them what I have in my hand. The important thing is that my hand is a very important tool. And if they trust my hand, then they should be able to trust whatever it is, whether it's a hoof pick, whether it's a rope, whether it's a whip, or a carrot stick, or a lunge whip, or whatever. Whatever is in my hand, they should be able to trust it as if it's part of my hand. So when people approach their horse and they want to worm them, or they want to give them a shot, or whatever it is that they want to do, especially spraying for flies and stuff like that, I think the big mistake is that they hide it. One little tip I want to give you about fly spray. When you rinse your horse off after you've worked it and it's hot, I'm going to ask her to back up. Back one. Thank you. Good job. A lot of times they go right up to the neck. Okay? But when you spray your horse to cool them down, you start at their feet. Mainly because you want to get the heat out of the hooves and work its way up. We'll do the same thing with your fly spray. Start at the feet. they'll be used to it because you do it with the hose. So you start, you spray. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, she's moving because she doesn't like that noise. Okay, I don't have a spray bottle. She's still a little bit nervous. If I did have it, she'd move around a little bit, but then once she realized what I'm doing, she would stop. But I'm just doing this as an example of what you do. You start at their feet. Alright, I'm going to show you some games that I play with her, with the carrot stick here. And these games that I play is for rapid movement. So when I get ready to work with her for the trails, which that's probably going to be another year or two away, because I haven't even gotten up on her back yet. So we got to figure it's going to take 3 to 3.5 years of me actually getting up on her. Now you say, well, that's a long time to be training a horse. Well, but if you really broke it down to the amount of time that I was able to spend with this horse, it probably would really be about 6 months. I've not had a whole lot of time, but the time that I did have with her was quality time. So what I want to show you now is what we do with the carrot stick. So she's a little bit nervous. She knows what I'm going to be asking her to do. Hide her hiney. Okay, get that butt around. Get her to disengage. Alright, not very good right there. Okay, we're going to do it again. I want her to disengage that butt, because if she doesn't, she can keep moving all day long. Once she disengages it, then I can get started. Go. Okay, Wendy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, a little nervous, so I'm going to let her move a little bit until she decides that it's okay. Licking and chewing. So this is where patience comes in. She's going to eventually stop, and she's going to realize, okay, why am I doing this? She's really not asking me anything that's too hard. Okay, there she goes. Now she's stopped. And all I did was just stand quiet and just let her move around until she decided, why am I doing this? Okay, so now I'm going to try it again. See what happens. Alright, so now, so far, it's looking pretty good. Nope, okay, she's going to move. That's alright, that's fine. Let her move. Notice my body language is relaxed. Now this time it didn't take quite as long. She knows what I want to do, but she really doesn't want to do it. We have a fine line between being afraid of doing it and not wanting to do it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get started here. Usually when I start, I just start in the front. Okay, she's going to move again. And notice how I give her that freedom of movement and give her space. Okay, good girl. Good girl. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to try it again. So I get the stick in front. Okay. So you can kind of see now why it took quite a while to get her to where she's at. But I will never hold a horse back from being able to move away from a situation that they're not comfortable with. Because when you do that, you really almost kind of start a fight with them, and you'll also become part of that predator or whatever it is that she's afraid of. Because you're holding her back and you're not giving them the chance to flee. And this is exactly what she's doing. She's fleeing. Alright? And it's not in the sense of her running away and heading for the hills, but she is fleeing away because she doesn't want to play with this carrot stick this morning. Now I've done this with her before. That's why I'm trying to show it to you now. But I want to also show you that things can change within the course of training. Sometimes you'll take 2 steps forward, but you can also take a couple of steps backwards. Right now we're going backwards. But I'm not afraid to show it because I want you to see how important your patience is. Because if you lose your patience and you start getting upset, then you might as well call it a day for training. I'm going to try to hide her hiney again. So I'm going to touch her with the carrot stick again. Tails come up, pass some gas. That's a good sign. A little relaxed right there. That's fine. Okay, now let's see if I can do it without holding the rope. Okay, see how she's moving away? She's thinking about leaving. So I'm not going to make a move until she just kind of settles in. I want her to look directly at me. I want both eyes on me. Right now she's only got one. I'm going to touch her. Just let her know she's okay. It's safe. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to move the stick in front. Now see how she turned her head? I stopped. If I'd have kept going, she'd have moved away. So they show you a lot of things. If you read their body language, it will be a lot easier for you to train your horse. I want her to bring her head towards me again. So I'm going to touch her again. And you see how that head comes back in? Okay. And then I step away. Now she's focused on me again. So now I'm going to try it again. Now this, okay, stopped again. Alright, but now I'm going to continue on again. Very good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub her neck, and then I'm going to go, take a nice sigh. What I'd like to see is maybe her doing some licking and chewing, or maybe even take a sigh. And I may not get that, but if I do, that's even better. Alright, a little lip movement there, not much. Okay, so now I'm going to switch hands, and I'm going to do it this way. Whoop, see that head come up? And see how I'm just kind of going in a nice rhythm. Now, and I'm going to rub her again because she did good. She didn't move her feet. So that meant that she felt fairly safe, but not really comfortable. If she didn't feel safe, she would have moved her feet and moved away from me. So we got the first part of it, and that's kind of like doing this. It's kind of like a snake motion, the way I do it. So like if you were riding and the snake was to go across you or something like that, some horses will spook at it and some horses won't. I had one mare who the snake just kind of crossed right in front, and she didn't even phase her. So I was pretty fortunate. I was a nervous wreck, but she did real good for me. So that's one of the things that I do, is just get in front and get that carrot stick, that rope, moving like this. Now, what this game, it covers all areas. It covers below, it covers in front, it covers off to the side, it covers above. We'll see how far we can take her today. Okay, so now I'm going to take and just go ahead. Now she's going to move. Okay, because now I'm changing it. Same thing, I'm going to let her go. So she decides that this is okay. Okay, very good. Nope, okay, here we go again. Okay. There you go, good girl. Oh, sweetie. Uh-oh. Can you back one step? One step. One step. One step, sweetie. One step. One step. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take the rope. Now I'm going to hold her a little bit. Nope. Okay, I'm going to let her go. Alright, we got the licking and chewing going on. So this will be one of the things that I'll have to work with her more on. And I'll probably have to show you this in another video, which is okay, because I don't want to force the issue. Right now she's a little bit nervous. And I've been kind of messing with her for about the last 45 minutes or so. So her fun button probably has gone off, and I think she's probably had enough. And that's another thing that you have to realize, is that when they've had enough, when to quit. Don't want to force the issue. Alright? She's telling me she's had enough. Now she did allow me to go ahead and take the carrot stick and work her on the front, but she's had enough. So we're going to call it, and we're going to call it a success, even though I didn't get to do the rest of what I wanted to do. But that's alright. We're still in the beginning stages of training, And when we get through with this, she also does the lateral flexion, and that's very important. Those are your brakes for when you stop your horse. So we'll be moving on to later on, after we do the carrot game, the games with the carrot stick. I'll be showing you that we're going to start doing mounting block games and putting the pad on her and stuff like that. And that's going to be in preparation for getting up on her back. So thank you for watching, and I hope you got something out of it. And remember, it's just you read your horse's body language. They'll tell you things, if you're paying attention, that when they've had enough or when they want to do more, or if they're having fun or whatever. All right? Thank you very much.